Hi there, my name's Jason from Step Up Physical Therapies, and I'm here today with Alex, and we're just going to talk about his experience with OP. How you doing, Al?
Good mate, how you going?
Oh, not too bad. So the first place I always like to start with these is just if you can give us just sort of a short description of your kind of journey before you kind of got in contact with me and what you'd gone through with OP.
Yep, so AFL player in the country here, has been playing for 10 years probably, well since I was 14. Never had any injuries or anything like that, and all of a sudden my groin started playing up one day. Didn't think anything of it, thought it would go away. Kept playing for about 6 or 7 months, and it gradually got worse until I couldn't get out of bed without pain, and couldn't sneeze or cough without excruciating pain, and didn't know what to do. Yeah.
Um, so what kind of stuff did you kind of do before you saw me, and what was that, and what kind of success did you have with that?
So I travelled around South Australia and Victoria trying all these different masseuses and acupuncture. Had an MRI which confirmed that it was OP, and sent away with a list of exercises to do, and that didn't help. I couldn't stick with it. Just pretty much tried everything really, and it was getting pretty depressing there at one stage.
Yeah, it's funny as I do these with some of my clients. It's insane how similar the story is. I think the thing that stuck out for you was just like because you'd given it a heap of rest before you
Yeah.
kind of. That seems to be the recurring theme is that people always give it heaps of rest. It feels good for a little bit, and then it gets bad again once they start training.
Yeah, that's it. 6 months rest after doing absolutely nothing, and it felt fine. And then I started exercising again, and yeah, it just flared up straight away again.
It's insane. It's just the same, like the same thing every time, I guess, because that's the standard treatment is to give it rest.
Yeah,
But it's such a recurring theme. But yeah, that story it's so similar to almost everyone's, especially the bit where like it's such a weird injury, I guess, because it's not like a tear or something. Like it's just soreness, and so you just assume, I guess, soreness is going to go away, right? Like you're moving and your back gets a bit sore. You know it's not good, but you just figure, it's from moving and you'll rest and it'll be fine. But yeah, it's insane. It's insane just how common the story is.
yeah,
Um, so you got in contact with me. We got started. One of the first things, and the people watching this, what you won't realize is Al's quite tall. He's where you're pushing 6'3", 6'2",
yeah,
6'3". So he's quite tall, and you kind of get this impression, I guess, football player, like tall, and so therefore strong. And he is. He's a strong guy. But the first thing that shocked me was when I got you onto the ab wheel, which is an exercise to do for core strength and breathing especially, and just how much you struggled with that. Or you're doing it with the computer chair first and then the ab wheel. I thought maybe it'd be a good place to start. Like when you jumped on it, you tried to do this exercise. Remember, you just couldn't get it, like you couldn't hold it. What was that like for you? Because I guess as a ruckman, which is if you're not from Australia, is kind of the most brutal position you can play in footy. You're just two big blokes just smacking into each other constantly. What was that like to like kind of jump on this ab wheel and just not be able to do it?
it's unbelievable. You look at it, there's just this little wheel, and you think you can roll out on it, and I had nothing there. I could tell, it was something was wrong there. So, and that's the great thing about your videos, and like sending your videos progressively, you can feel the improvement, you can see it, and it's unreal.
So if you haven't read the site or something, basically what happens is I'd show Al an exercise in a session. He'd go away, do them during the week, shoot me a video back, and basically be like, I'd shoot me a video, show me him doing the exercises. I would send one back where I'd draw on the screen and be like, oh yeah, you're doing this well. You need to work on this. And so as the weeks go by, you kind of get this library of different exercises, and you can see your body transform, which is really, really cool and really, really interesting. And then you can see how the exercises kind of link to each other. But yeah, I just remember the first time you're doing that, just being like, whoa, because your core had come up in the testing, but I didn't realize the extent of it until that thing. The other thing that was really interesting was just how when you did the body squats, how you were really good with weight, without weight. So your squats were really good at the beginning, and then the minute we added weight, it just kind of they fell apart a little bit. What was that like for you? What did you like just kind of going?
Yeah, the whole balance. I just couldn't balance with the weight on, could I? It was, and it looked shocking on the footage too, didn't it? It was.
It's quite confronting. I remember the first time someone showed me a video of myself. This is years ago, and my back was bad of me running, and just how ugly it was. And I was just like, "Holy crap! I had no idea I moved like that." Yeah, it's super confronting when you see the first time like yourself on a video and stuff, and just how different you are to what you imagine you would be. I'd kind of think. But I thought your movement was good, but you're dead on. It was always the balance that you kind of struggled with and made it hard. And it makes sense. You're a big bloke. It's kind of harder. Longer limbs, longer things. And yeah, and bigger guys. I always think they tend to be more upper body dominant because you're bigger and stronger. You rely on that strength to kind of get away with a lack of balance. Also, like, you're in the ruck, you're playing things, you never expected to be nimble. You just always asked to kind of whack people and
just run straight into them.
yeah, don't bother running around and just go through. It all kind of culminates into making it difficult to then pick up new exercises. I guess so we jumped in, we had a session. What was your kind of initial reaction to that kind of first session and to some of the exercises at the beginning?
Yeah, the first session, it was pretty full on. It was pretty much like an hour and a half of just information, and I think we had about 6 or 7 exercises he gave me straight away and said, go away and have a crack at these. And just I did a lot of reading on the internet about OP, and there's just not a lot, there's a lot of people whinging about it on forums, but they don't know the reason behind it all. And you explained it down to a T, and, you made a plan, what we're going to do, and how we're going to get to the end of it. And yeah, I was just impressed. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thanks, dude. I definitely have gotten a lot as I'm doing these, information overload. It's a lot of stuff going on. I've definitely tried to integrate that into the next things to break that up a little bit so it's not too overwhelming. But yeah, it's funny. For me, the way I figure it is like, if you know what it is, right, you know what your enemy is, then, it's not scary anymore. Like, there's so lack of information. Once you know what it is, you just have to break it down and do it piece by piece. So I always figure more information is better than less if it all knits together really well, which obviously it did in the end.
Definitely.
What was the point? So I always like to say that, and I always, like, the minute I get someone the first time, I'm always like, there's always a point, right, where you want to drop your bundle, where it's just too hard, it doesn't make sense, and you just want to give up. Can you remember when that point was for you?
Yeah, I couldn't get the deadlifts right, and I probably sent you 3 or 4 videos in this 1 week and I cracked it. Like, I didn't want to do it anymore, and just couldn't get my back straight and things like that. And I was like, I could still feel the OP there, and I wasn't getting anywhere. And yeah, that was sort of nearly it then.
What was funny about that is you did something that I think really turned the corner. You printed out all your exercises and you put them on your garage.
Yeah.
And to me, as strange as it sounds, that was always the turning point for you, I reckon.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know, I guess, and you printed them on, not just like a list, right? You printed them like individual pieces of paper on a wall. I don't know, it felt like an episode of House, right? Where, he would write like all the symptoms on the board, and it was like, you put it on the wall and you were just like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it. And that's it. And then, from there, I always felt like you were on the other side of the mountain, even if it was hard. It always felt like you were just smashing it and stuff. Yeah. And yeah, it was always like, oh, okay, he's got this now. But I wanted to ask you, what made you do that?
Print them out.
Yeah,
I'm just a list person. If I can check things off a list, get up in the morning and do it and tick it off, it's just easy. It's done for the day then, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But even to do it with individual pieces of paper was why I was like, what made you go, I've got to get this, a big list, not just a little list on a piece of paper. You're like, I'm going to plaster this across my damn wall.
Yeah, I don't know. I can see it and look at it. It's just, yeah, I don't know.
I thought it was really cool, and yeah, it definitely for whatever reason it completely worked for you because it let you yeah, change the corner.
Yeah.
What was the weirdest exercise I gave you? Do you reckon?
Probably a couple of the yoga ones.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. The one where you push up there. What's the
that's upward dog. Yeah,
upward dog? Yeah. Yeah. I really struggled with that. I still do. Yeah, like I suppose a lot of people do, but
yeah, it's so brutal. It's just
yeah.
it's no like things. Alex is particularly hypermobile. A lot of OP patients are, so it's a unique blend when you're a big guy and you're really flexible. It can make life really difficult and really interesting. So when Alex was doing stuff like upward dog or some of the other yoga movements, his flexibility would let him do things that he probably shouldn't be doing or that his strength wasn't protecting him from. So yeah, for a lot of those movements, Alex would look like he was doing it correct, but when I could like slow it down and freeze it on the camera and draw on it, you could see that it wasn't, but his flexibility would kind of, and it almost makes it hard because you're kind of like, yeah, but it looks good, it feels good, and you're like, oh, but actually it's wrong. I think it's harder when it's like that.
I wasn't feeling it where I was meant to be feeling it, was I?
Yeah, sometimes it's easier when you're just super stiff because it's really easy to find the spot where you should feel it because you only have to move like a little bit to hit it, whilst you've got to stop yourself from moving in the wrong direction and then find the right direction. Which is yeah, which I think makes it harder. But you negotiated it pretty well, in my opinion, at least. All right. So how's your body feeling now? Like, how?
Yeah.
Sorry, go.
You go.
Oh, I was going to say, how's it feeling now? And more importantly, like rather than just kind of good, how do you feel like? So obviously you're in the ruck, you're jumping, you're changing direction and stuff, or you're playing centre half back. You know, you're jumping back or forward. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, you're jumping, you're wrestling with guys. Where do you like? How do you feel in terms of changing direction and things like that? How do you feel in terms of wrestling? Are there any things that you feel like you're not as strong and you need to keep working on? Stuff like that.
So probably the strength, just the core strength is one thing I've noticed compared to a couple of years ago when I played. Just like I think the whole deadlifting thing really helps me hold my ground, and that's definitely one improvement. Probably some things I need to work on still are just the acceleration off the mark and definitely changing directions. But I used to feel it all the time in the area, but I haven't felt it yet. And I haven't probably pushed it as hard as I probably could.
That's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, no, just the whole deadlift thing and doing it properly in the form and everything like that. Yeah, yeah, unreal.
It's always my hope that like, because you figure right, if you make your body functional, so it's not broken anymore. Like I figure that's going to make you a better athlete. Like you know that it's that linear. So I always really like to hear that because people love to separate. You know, it's rehab and then there's like performance training, right? And like you put on muscle in preseason to get stronger to go out and play. And I kind of feel like, well, if you're more functional, you should be stronger. And if you're stronger, that's probably more important than being muscular kind of thing. And whatever muscles you do develop should be because you're just so strong that you need it. Like you've done those deadlifts, you absolutely need more muscle to lift a heavier weight rather than kind of it being an inflation of like, you know, fluid and just doing extra reps and stuff like that. And then blokes go out after preseason and lose that weight straight away when they jump into the middle of the season. So I always really, really like to hear that. Last question, and I'll let you go. So someone's watching this and you just wanted to tell them kind of just something about how they should go about their OP and things up, what would you tell them?
Yeah, the thing I found there's just no magic fix. There's no massage or acupuncture or cortisone injection or anything like that that'll fix you. You need to do the hard work and put in and yeah, commit to it, I think.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much, dude. And thank you for doing this. And yeah, I'll chat to you soon.
No worries. Thank you, mate.
Have a good one.